Alright, hello and welcome to another Why Would You Use? So, today we're going to be talking about the Heliocor. And I know this might be a little, presumptuous of me to do this video because I know we're about to get the Synoid Heliocor. But this weapon, honestly, on its own, is still, pretty good. It's honestly not terrible. It is relatively high MR locked, but it's got good stuff going for it, and if the Synoid variant doesn't keep the ability of this weapon to scan enemies and put them into your codex, then there's merit to this weapon still, and it is totally fine. So let's take a look at it. So the essentials of the Heliocor are that it's basically just like a slightly worse Fragor Prime, which being slightly worse than a Prime weapon, not bad. It's not bad at all. It's a slightly worse Fragor Prime, and that's really all there is to it. Besides, like, it can scan enemies, and that's that. It functions very similarly to the Fragor Prime, in that its reach is not great. And the reason this build is how it is because I actually feel like it's better to just do some more elemental stuff than to use Prime Reach on this weapon, because this costs so much and you would gain more just by doing like higher focused DPS with this weapon. Obviously there's a ramp to that though, with Blood Rush Body Count being the combo here. But this on the whole is totally fine. Also, it's worth noting that there's a variation on this. I actually like this better because this has less of a hard ramp at the beginning, but you can do Fever Strike right here, and then you could use like a Focus Energy or something. These are both good. This is also fine. I prefer to have more of the upfront damage, but this one has more backloaded damage, if that makes sense. So if you were going to do like a long run with the Heliocor, which I don't think that I would personally do, this build would end up being better because you'd have cheaper channeling cost for Life Strike, and you've got more back-end damage with your higher critical multiplier. And let's just use this. Both builds are fine. One just has more upfront damage, which is better at like low-mid levels for just wiping out trash. And especially just having it like on your hip, just one swinging like a little group. But yeah, we'll show this one. They're both totally usable. But yeah, this is obviously, like I said, this is an aside to the Fragor Prime, so this weapon is pretty good. This weapon is going to have, and also those green flashes there, I already have all these enemies scanned, obviously, because I'm in the Simulacrum. But whenever you see that green flash, that's whenever this hammer would be scanning those enemies. So that's how you can tell that. And this weapon does have momentum when you're swinging it. Also, if you're wondering why I'm using the blocking combo instead of my pause combo, it's because this weapon is a lot more focused, and that combo is like the focused DPS. Or rather, the reverse of that. This combo is more focused DPS, which is how I'm using the Heliocor. Although I do really like the spin comparatively. These guys are a real huge pain in my ass. There we go. And there's still a guy up here. Hey, bud. Goodbye. Yeah, that green, the green, like, what you would see whenever you have an enemy fully scanned in the Codex scanner, whenever you see that on your screen, it means the hammer would have scanned that enemy. So it doesn't scan every single enemy you kill with it, but it scans a good amount of them. But yeah, I mean, that's the Heliocor. It's solid. And it's not terribly difficult to build. It's just got a probably higher than I would like MR requirement on it. Although, for a slightly worse Fragor Prime, the Fragor Prime is pretty difficult to acquire, so weigh your options accordingly. And if you've got like none of the codex completed, just having like a pretty good, like nice melee weapon. Maybe you're a Chroma player. It's like, hey, I like to use the Jack Attack on my Chroma. Maybe switch to this for a while and get a bunch of your scans done. That stuff's kind of what this is for. It fits a really weird niche that I don't think is super useful to a lot of players, but it's still a fine weapon in its own right. And that's why you would use the Heliocor, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I think